Hey guys, we got some of your Canadian weather. We're talking 10 degrees here, Fahrenheit, 37 in here. Now, it's not quite 37 in here. It's a little bit warmer, I'm going to say, but because this is where it is, that's where it's at. But when I say a little bit warmer, maybe a degree or two. However, I got on my sleeping coat, my sleeping bag, but it's cold. So, and it's windy. I'm talking about wind. The turbines are kicking butt up there now, and we're charging, that's for sure. Yeah, we're up to 13.6. So, I don't know if you can even hear it or not. Can you hear the turbine in the background? I don't think you can. But it's cold out there. And the wind isn't helping. It's got to be like minus. I mean, like way out minus, because with that wind chill. So, but other than that, that's about where we're at. So, I just came back from coffee. Today is January 21st, 2019, and it is 12:31 p.m. here in Connecticut on a cold, windy day. And that it is. That it is. So, package came in. I'm waiting for another one, but this one came in, so we'll open it up. Do something to do on this cold day. I know what this is. I just thought it's a blue light. I just don't know which one, because I ordered a couple of them, and we'll see which is which at this point. I'm pretty sure that's what this is. Okay, this was this one is the $20 set. This particular one costs $20. And it comes in a plain box, basically. No directions. You can kind of figure for yourself that that's the $20 one. I really like to know where the hell I bought the other one from. The one that's on there, because it is a nice turn you down. Hey, Lance! There you go. Okay. Wait a minute, though. So anyway, I really like to know where I got the other ones from. This one says Federal Signal on it, Safety and Security Systems. Yeah, right. No directions, but we do have two sets here. I can assume, but yet I better not do that either, that these two go together. Okay, that's what that happens. Or they're supposed to anyway. Or are they? Alright, this one has one wire on it. This one has two wires on it. One of them is a hot and ground. The other one looks to be a hot ground and programming wire. Now, one of them goes to the switch, if in fact I want to use the switch, which I'm not going to. But that's a nice little switch, I like that. They have a switch. I just got to figure out how to make This one, oh, I see. This goes into here, so they're made to work as a set. So that goes into there. This one would normally plug into the switch, like that. This would hook up to power, which we might as well just do it, give you an idea what I'm talking about here. So let's take the negative side and hook that up to the negative. Let's find the positive. Come on, be nice. Hook this up to the positive. Okay. And hopefully they don't short out. And I think you can probably see these. Now, no, we don't want you to short out, so we get there. Alright, so the switch is on, off. On, off. Off, on. The button, I believe, programs the pattern. So it is a nice little switch. However, I don't need to program my patterns. I'm probably going to leave it right where it was. The thing is, well, let me do this first. Let me do this way, I'm sorry. Let me get rid of the power. Okay. So what I'm going to do is eliminate that. I'm going to cut this off near the end so I can keep this plug with the switch. And all I need to do basically is wire these and install these on the back of the vehicle. So I'm going to take off approximately that much. And I'm going to plug it in here so I don't lose it. And I'm going to throw that down there with the other switches. And I'm going to strip this off here. Now the plug that's on this, it doesn't, come on, get out of here. There you go. So that it doesn't shrink while I'm soldering. If you know what I mean. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So we need two pieces of this. And then I want one piece of a little bit bigger. Bigger than that. Bigger than that. I want to be able to put that. No, it's going to be close for my cigar. Let's use this one. I like when it's clean, but apparently, here we go. Hey, Bear. Okay, wait a minute. I'll give you some. Hold on, I got it. What's up, buddy? So it's and let's take this one, put this over this side. Come on, get in there. There you go. Move it down enough. Actually, I want this one on this one. Now, like I said, I did a video, I don't know if I even posted it or not, on solder. And
Roger, Mike 342, 19 Stratton Way, Cross Street, Squashington Road, North End 8.
when you're
For the forward back paint, 73 mil.
okay, when you're soldering, and if you're going to use heat shrink, you got to make sure that the heat shrink is far enough away from the spot that you're soldering so that it doesn't shrink from the heat that's traveling down the wire, because it will shrink from the heat. And also, while I'm doing this, I'll give you an idea how I solder. There's 3 or 4 different ways I've seen people solder. One is something that I wouldn't do unless I had no other choice. The other 2 I wouldn't have an issue with. But again, I don't want this so close that when I'm soldering, the heat travels down the wire and starts to shrink this up on me. So I want this far enough away so that I don't waste it. Now that may be okay as long as I'm quick. If I stay too long on it, it'll shrink it on me. So, hey buddy. But that's where the flux comes in. Get crazy on them as far as taste. But she thinks it's helping him, so we'll see. His next appointment will give us a little bit of an idea. I mean, is that a miracle cure? I'd like to say yeah, but you know, again, you don't know. But what I'm doing here is, you may or may not see it, I'll show you when I do the next one, but I'm putting these wires together so I can solder them. And I want to make sure that, where the hell is it? No, what'd I do with it? You guys see a little squirt bottle around here someplace? No, not this one. It's a little, oh, here it is. Okay, thank you. Flux. Okay, now the trick is to get this done quickly. So I want to make sure the iron is hot and ready to go. So I went and had breakfast this morning already. Got that out of the way. Well, not that I got out of the way. Actually, I look forward to having a little Monday powwows. Okay, so that's done. Now what I did was, I took the 2 of them, and this is the way you really like to do it. Some people will separate them and push them together so that they lock into one another. And that works sometimes on some wire, but sometimes when you do that, the wire has a tendency of, little wires have a tendency of popping out on you. I take it this way. I kind of cross them about midpoint, and I wrap them the opposite directions. Now the reason why I do it this way is, and the reason why you do it either way, doesn't make a difference, whatever works best for you, is so that you have a nice solder joint, a good solder joint, and it maintains close to the same thickness of the wire. So you don't have a big glump there, you know. So that's what it is. But I like to intertwine them in opposite directions because the wire itself helps to hold as well as the solder. Where if you do it the other way and they start unraveling on you, but you try it, whichever way works best for you. But then at that point, it can end up with a mess. And if you have any loose wires hanging around, they'll poke through the heat shrink, and then, you know, what you were trying to do is not being done, which is protect the wires from shorting out. So now I'm going to take those and put those like that. Now I'd rather have a heat gun or a heat pencil rather than this little torch, but you use what you can. In this case, this is cold, so it doesn't want to work. Okay, we'll sit here and hold it. Get it warm. It's cold out there. Ah, cold. And I don't feel it right now. To be honest with you, I am comfortable. I really am. And I can move around freely. All right, this thing isn't getting caught up in my crotch, so if I put my hands up in the air, I don't choke myself. Okay, this ain't gonna work. I'm gonna have to put it over here. Hold on a minute. Alright, well this ain't gonna work either, but it's got to be quick. What I'm thinking of doing is, I gotta put butane in this. Buying a little heat gun type pencil, if you know what I mean, and I'm also thinking about getting a newer type solder iron as well that works off of more or less air, I guess, than anything else. Okay, so now I'm going to put that piece over the two pieces to hold the wires together so that they don't, you can tell it's cold. This doesn't even alright. But what I was saying is, I don't do enough board level repairs anymore to where I really need it. And they're expensive. Now if I can find a decent one at a decent price, then I would probably buy one. A new solder iron that works off of hot air, kind of, I guess you'd say, than it does this. What it does is, I may be wrong when I say hot air, but it doesn't give you any heat that's going to radiate off of what you're actually trying to fix, if you know what I mean. In other words, if I'm trying to fix something, like I'm trying to put solder on the end here, it's just going to give me the heat exactly where I need it, and it's not going to travel any further than that. So, and that's kind of the picture. All right, so let's bring this one down now, because I want to, again, this is going to be outside, so I want to make sure that everything is going to be nicey. Come on. Are we having a hard time today? I know the striker's okay. I guess I'm going to have to put this in my sleeping bag with me. But anyhow, let me fill this up while I'm waiting for... Hey, guys. Now that's really cold, so I don't really think this is going to light at all. But it did. All right. Well, thank you. Oh, you can tell it's cold. See how it's spitting. Alright, that'll continue to shrink by itself. So that's it. How cold is it in there? Is it warming up? Well, it's up to 12. So it went up 2 degrees. That's a start. Okay, so at least at this point, I know that I have a good connection there as far as it goes. And we don't have to worry about it too much. And these two are going to go into there, and we're done. Okay. Alright, so that's done. I got to put this away. I was going to take this all out of the box, but you know what? Why am I going to do that? This is the other winch that I got from China that has more mounting hardware in it than the one that I got from Tractor Supply, which also came from China. But with that being said, that doesn't belong in there because that's not heat shrink. That belongs there. That one there. That one there. That one there. Okay. Now I don't know how I did without this heat shrink as long as I did. Because, man, I tell you, I go through it like crazy. Alright, so this plenum was a great idea. Let's see what we got burning in here. I went out. Alright, it'll start. It's getting there. When the wife and I got more wood yesterday, and we put it in there, out there, and I put some over here. I actually took the saw out, saw's around here someplace, and I cut up some wood that's outside that isn't really seasoned. You know, it's been down for the year, but it's not, you know, really seasoned. And I brought some in here, so at least it'll burn a little bit longer, because the other stuff is so seasoned that, I mean, I filled that little thing up, that little stove up like 3 times yesterday, for about 4 hours heat. Now, it gave great heat, but I mean, at that rate, I'd be out of wood in no time. So, all right. Well, I don't know if you guys noticed it or not, but never mind. I'm not gonna bother. Got the rest of the patches off. That's done. I got more coming in. I'm gonna make a cup of hot chocolate and I'll be right back.